And while we're here on politics, man, a couple of questions, man. How do you run for office if you don't trust elections? I mean, we've seen a meteoric rise in this election cycle of politicians who are election deniers. Well, if you're an election denier, why are you participating in an election? Like, if you don't believe the results of an election that you weren't involved in, you were just invested in, because you didn't get the result that you wanted, why would you run for office? Obviously think the system is flawed and it's broken and that it's manipulated to get the desired effect of those who you are against. So you're going to throw your hat in it. So what happens if you win and your opponent says, "Oh no, this person didn't win. Uh, Stop the steal. They're stealing votes." What are you going to say? "Oh no, this election was right because I won." And what does that say to the people who are who you're representing? How do you say, "Hey, this system that stands on these morals and these principles that I believe in, well, that you believe in, I don't believe in them. Am I supposed to vote for you?" And then what does it say to the people who don't believe in the system, but they still participate in the system? Is it that they don't trust the system if their person's not there, or if their person gets there, then they now trust the system? So is it person over system, right? We Is it Brady over the Patriot way? Have we just taken that from sports and now applied it to politics? Because I thought that when we see a system, we buy into the system, but we want to optimize the system by putting the best people in position to succeed. Because when we look at what the Patriots are doing, the Patriot way is not failing because the Patriot way doesn't work. The Patriot way is not succeeding to its maximum capability because it does not have the best participants in the system to make it its most optimal. That's all it is. That's all it is. Great system, great people, great results. Great system, average people, above average results. Bad system, great people, average to above average results. You see what we're doing here? Bad system, bad people is terrible. But you need both. And if we as American people aren't buying into the system, what does that say about us? What does that say about the system? I'm one who believes in the system. I believe it has its flaws, but I believe that it can work and it will work when the right people are in it and they're acting accordingly. Now, I don't want to get into why I think the system is flawed. Not on this podcast. I don't think this is appropriate. But what I found is super interesting is that there's this us versus them mentality. And you see it in primary elections, and then you see it in the general election, and you see it amongst the people. There's just so much tribalism going on over here. It's so polarizing. So now you have election deniers versus election believers running against one another, and it's their job to unify the populace. And I don't see how they do that. How do you sit and tell someone, "Hey, this person that you voted for who won this election stole this election and they should not have won this election. But you know what? I came up after them. It was perfect for me. Follow me. I'm going to lead you to where you need to go." Let me hit my yak. Well, that don't make sense. Does it? It doesn't make sense to me. I'm sure it doesn't make sense to you. And it makes me wonder, so what are you doing it for? Who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself? Or are you doing it for the people? Are you trying to point at problems in the system to big yourself up, right? It's like the guy who wants to downplay the girl's boyfriend when he acting up just so he can slide in. And it's like, hey, bro, you ain't gotta play a hate. Just be you. Stand on who you are. But don't use narratives because they're convenient and they benefit you when you don't even actually believe them. Not when you're here to be a voice of the people